Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? Hope you're all doing well. Just a quick follow-up video for one of my subscribers who asked a question. So this is regarding the video I did of the $2,000-ish American Fender Deluxe Telecaster that I set up recently for a good friend of mine. So he bought this guitar about 10 years ago and it came right out of the store. He never really touched it other than, he played it. He changed the strings a few times. As time went on, he just liked it less and less. And I explained that in the video. Anyway, he dropped it off. He asked me if I could maybe tweak it for him, which I did. And I was surprised at how much work it took me to tweak that guitar. To me, a $2,000 American Fender Telecaster should be a plug-and-play instrument and should feel great. This one was not the case. To the point of a mismatched body and neck. So the body is from 2015, matched up with a neck from 2010. I didn't realize that in the Fender warehouse, when they slap a guitar together, they could have necks lying around from 5 to 7 years prior that they'll use, right? So that I found a little weird for a guitar in that price point. And the other thing that really kind of threw me off is even the specs that Fender quotes on their Fender serial number search. When you bring up this model, the specs are wrong. So the neck is supposed to be a compound 9.5 to 14 radius, according to Fender, and it is not. You'll see in this video, it's posted in the description below if you want to watch it. This neck is a 9.5 to 12 radius. So anyway, moving on. Guitar's all set up, plays great, looks good. But this video was because of one of my subscribers asked, hey, can you do a shootout between this $2,000 Fender and one of the West Creek TT20 Telecasters? I'd be curious to see how the West Creek holds up to a $2,000 guitar. Well, that was a great suggestion. Unfortunately, my West Creek belongs to someone else now. A buddy of mine really wanted it, and so I sold it to him. I have too many guitars anyway. But I do have an M-Musi Virgo Classic Telecaster here, and the specs on it are pretty much identical to the specs on the Fender. Like right down to 18-to-1 staggered tuners, right down to the 9.5 to 12 radius fretboard, right down to, belly cut. The M-Musi has a few more contours on it, but so there's a lot of similarities between the two. So I did a little comparison. So I did a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll, and maybe a little bit of rock. I can't really remember. But anyway, so you guys have a listen and you tell me which one you think sounds better. Now, a lot of opinions here are going to be biased because, I like my budget guitars and I have kind of a budget channel. So, those of you who like the budget stuff are going to have a biased opinion that the M-Musi sounds better. And those of you who are the other end of the spectrum who like the Fender stuff, you guys are going to say that the Fender sounds better, right? It's just we are biased in our thinking based on the experiences that we have in life. That's just how it goes. For me, I'm going to say I feel that both guitars sound very close, like very similar. Now, I just went from one guitar to the other without adjusting my amp, which in reality, that wouldn't be the case. I would always adjust my amp or tweak it to what I want to hear from the guitar that I'm playing at the time. So I didn't do this here. I just put the amp on from my last gig. I can't even remember where that was, but whatever setting was on the amp, that is what I used for both guitars. So, was it a benefit to one and not to the other? I don't know. But I felt that they sounded pretty darn close. I'm using a Quilter direct amp, which is basically a DI for electric guitar, and I'm running it straight into a Headrush FR speaker that was right behind me to my left. I don't know if you can see it actually in the video, but that's where the sound was coming from. Recording it straight off the tablet mic. No mics in the room, no fancy recording devices. Just press record and rock and roll. So what you get is what you get. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think, and we'll see where the comments lead. For me, I'm super happy with my M-Musi, and I personally would not spend $2,000 for an American Telecaster, especially for one like my friends with all the issues I had to fix, there's just no way. I will stick with my $400 M-Musi and I will mod it as I see fit. That's just me. But you guys let me know what you think. You know, doesn't matter what the name says in the headstock. If you like it, it's a good guitar. So you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.